To demonstrate the adding of the Conte, I'm just going to zoom in and stay zoomed in on my drawing. And what I want to do first is really think about the middle value of this pepper. As you can see, there's some reflected light on it where its form shifts and changes. There's highlights, and then there's a skin color of this object, or like a color of the object itself, where the pepper is darker in the front, lighter in the back. That's actually not due to the light, but rather the coloration. While there's also reflected light right at the bottom right-hand side of the pepper, in this area here, that's all reflected light. It's darker in this section, middle tone in the middle, and then the part furthest to the left and up is actually a light color. So I'm going to start mimicking that. I want to start using the Conte again in that mid-tone and establish that mid-tone. When you're using Conte crayon on pastel paper, you want to make cross-hatching marks, and you want them to be directional. So you want to be thinking about the way that the form is represented. Is it flat? Is it curving to the left? Is it curving to the right? Is it cylindrical? Is it circular? And just making those marks follow that form. So you want to use cross-hatching while you're using Conte. You can have that cross-hatching really paired together and moving that Conte right, left and right, using almost the side of the Conte, but still having quite a bit of control and changing the direction of the mark depending on what you see your form is doing. And you want the gray of the paper to continue to show. So you don't want to overuse that Conte. You don't want to push it down so hard that it starts to fill in those gaps of that paper. You really just want it to sit on top. So I'm just going to work on a little section in here and show you how to use many of the different values that you have for the Conte. Again, the 4 values that we're talking about. As you have the gray of the paper, that's going to be representing one value. Then you have the lighter Conte, and then another Conte that's a little bit more brown. It's the one that I just changed to, so you can see that this is lighter and more a lighter earth tone, and this is a darker earth tone. So Conte blends Conte. If you want to add value into the area that you've already made, you don't want to smear it with a paper towel, you don't want to smear it with newsprint. You just want to use another value of Conte, going back over it in the areas that you want darker. That is the best way to blend Conte and pastels. They blend each other. You don't want to use your finger, you don't want to blend it basically in any other way. Just use one value and then you can go back and use the other valued Conte. As we're working with Conte, we are talking and thinking about value, not about color. We're not thinking about chroma. If we're matching the color of the pepper, we're really thinking about, if we're matching the value of the drawing from light to dark, thinking about that light to dark spectrum. So you want to use your midtones first, and I recommend using those midtones, starting when necessary or needed to add the black Conte into your composition, but first only while blending it in. You want to use an economy of line. You want to use as least value change, as least Conte as possible to be able to represent your drawing. Again, switching back and forth and working with them together are going to give you a richer, more diverse sense of value. Really describing those shadows and highlights. As you can see, my pepper is already starting to look like it has some volume, that there's a dip in the middle here because I've added that darker Conte and because my lines are directional. Continuing to blend it in. After I have used the two different midtones of Conte and the black, working with them together to create value changes, describing that form, using it sparingly, only then do I want to use white. White is kind of the punch when it comes to Conte. It's going to be the thing that's going to give you lots of focal tension, the ability to really draw the eye, and so you want to leave it for last. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this pepper for a little bit. I'm going to turn the video off, and then I'll come back and show you how to use the white.